Hey YouTubers! Sorry, yes, it has been a while since I've been on, and no, I did not finish the Bachelor stuff, but I will. It might be too late, but I might just do a brief recap of hometowns and then the final three and so forth. Anyhow, today's episode is going to be how to organize the visually impaired way. So, I'm going to give you some tips on how to stay organized, and maybe some tips on how us visually impaired people stay organized. So let's go on this journey together and let's get organized. Please subscribe by mashing that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you'll know when I have videos. Please like and leave comments below. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Hey YouTubers. Alright, so today we're going to talk about organization and, during this time where we're all kind of stuck inside, due to the coronavirus, I think this might be a good time that we can do some spring cleaning and organizing and tidying and things like that. So, I'm going to try and take you on an organization journey, room by room. Now, with that being said, some of these products I'm going to show you are things that you can use, that I would like to use, to help me organize. And also, I'm going to talk about some ways that, visually impaired people stay organized. And I will show you some of the ways I stay organized, or try to. With that being said, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start in the kitchen. Usually, well, at least in our house, it's the first room that you walk into when you come in the house. So what you can do, we have a corner for our broom, but what you can do is you can have a wall mount for your broom and mops and, things like that. You can stick them in the pantry, on the back of the pantry door. But since our apartment is extremely small, we do have a corner for the broom. So you can get a broom mount. You can use the back of your doors for more storage space. You can get over the shoe door holders. You can get hooks for your door. You can even find hooks at the dollar store now for your door. And if you don't want to, drill into the wall or anything like that, you can also use command hooks, which I love for hanging pictures and things like that. Like, I love command hooks. You can get creative with command hooks too. So, and then shelving is a must in my kitchen. Like, we don't have a pantry, so we use a shelf here for our canned goods. And then we don't also have a lot of cupboard space, so somebody was actually throwing out this cupboard here, and I snagged it so it can hold a lot of our dishes and keep us a little bit more organized. It has drawers and some countertop space and things like that. We also put our microwave and toaster oven on top of a hutch that I got when I was living in Florida, and that hutch stores wine glasses and things like that. And then I also have my cupboards organized, plates next to, kind of by the stove, but in a place where my husband can reach them because he's a little on the height challenged side. I also have things that I'm not going to use, kind of up high, or, stored someplace where it doesn't need to be gotten all the time, like the bread machine or, things like that. You can also have a paper towel holder on the door. As you can see, that's kind of how we've got ours, and it just makes it a little bit easier instead of having a paper towel holder on the counter. You can organize drawers by, what it is, like towels, baking stuff. So that's kind of like how I organize the kitchen. I also put my baking sheets and stuff underneath the stove. It also creates a lot more storage. And I've got my cleaning supplies in buckets, so that way you can just pull out the bucket and, you know, you don't have to rifle through cleaning supplies. What you could also do that I've seen on YouTube is you could put your garbage bags on a paper towel holder and just have the paper towel holder hanging on the, you know, door, and roll them off that way. That way you don't have a mess of garbage bags, you know, laying in the cupboard. And you can get a basket and put some of your cleaning supplies that you daily use on your cupboard door as well, which I would love to do. I found this website, well, a YouTuber found this website for me that has organic cleaning supplies. And I would like to try that at some point and, you know, do what she instructed, which was, you know, put a basket on the door and just put your cleaning supplies in it. And that would just really help us stay organized a lot more. Using fridge organizers or you know, bins to store things in. I've tried that. It doesn't stay that way, so we just kind of vetoed that method. My husband's ADHD and has trouble sometimes putting things back where they belong, and that's okay. You know, being visually impaired, it's kind of a thing that you should probably put things back where they go, but you know, it's a work in progress with us. You could, you know, organize your freezer by, you know, chicken, beef, pork, fish, you know, and put them in bins, and then label the bin so you know what's in those bins, being visually impaired. Or you can use a note card and rubber band and label the package, being low vision. If you are totally blind, my favorite thing to use is either freezer labels, where you have like a little rubber band and you can braille on them, or, and I think they come in like a 50 pack, or you can use a pen friend, attach it to a note card, and then attach that note card to the package. I love the pen friend. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous tool. Another thing that you can do in the kitchen is get a bag organizer for those, you know, shopping bags that you have probably a cupboard full or a bag full. Get a bag organizer, grab a command strip hook, hang it on the door. We need to hang ours up, but right now the strap broke, so I've got to sew that and fix that. Sorry, my nose is a little bit runny today. Allergy season, what do you expect? So that's basically our kitchen. You can get pots and pan organizers, which I would like to do, but I also have to measure my kitchen cupboard space to make sure that happens. Ooh, and another thing that you can do if you need more prep space is open one of your drawers and then stick your cutting board kind of in the drawer, like as you see here I have. And then you've got more counter space and prep space. And then once you're done, you just, you know, push the drawer in. Good to go. Another thing I saw on YouTube is that you can hang your plastic wrap, like the cardboard box or the sandwich baggie box or the tinfoil box. You can grab some push pins, hang those from the wall, and you've just got more drawer space opened up. You can also use magazine holders that you can get from the dollar store and use those to store your baking sheets, to use that vertical space, or your pots and pans, or your canned goods are good for that. If you have like a ton of, you know, the same thing like chicken noodle soup or tomato soup or whatever, you can also use those magazine holders to store your plastic wraps and things like that, storage stuff. Also, another thing that you can use that I saw a YouTube video on is using a CD holder to store your Tupperware lids or your plates and bowls. So that way you can use that vertical space, and you know, you can still stack plates, but they're, you know, a little bit more organized and easier to get out. If I were to do it, it would be lengthwise instead of up and down, and that way I can just pull a plate out and you're good to go. That's what I would do. Oh, you can get a coffee shelf. We have one and we love it. You could hang coffee mugs from it, but however, we don't trust our wall because it's not hanging in a stud right now. And that wall has caved in before, not with the rack on it, but just in general. So we don't trust that wall. So instead of hanging coffee mugs from it, we basically hung our spatulas from it and then put the coffee stuff up above. However, I wish it was down just a little bit lower, so I could stand the coffee container up, but you know, it's not, and that's okay, and it still does what I need it to. So we decided that we're going to hang some coffee mugs from the little knobs on our other storage area. And then, so we got the spatulas and things hanging there, and with the wooden spatulas, we kind of left them in the little red canister. So that's another thing that you can do that we have done. And then you can also get yourself a wine rack and have a little wine corner too. You know, with your wine glasses if you want to go that route. I like cold wine personally, so I stick mine in the fridge. You can use the space, if you have space above the cupboards for storing stuff, that works fabulously. I've got knickknacks and a few things up above for me, but it's great storage if it's items that you don't need all the time. Maybe that, you know, holiday tray that you have. Oh, you can get a magnetic key holder, and or if you need a, you know, a letter organizer or a shelf, you can do one of those too. I found this really cute looking cloud key magnetic holder. Right now, we actually have just a command strip hook that I have keys hanging on. But if I were to do it again, I would get one of those magnetic key holders. Because we don't need the letter organizer. Because I have one that's hanging on the wall that you can put letters in. And right now we actually have medications in there. They kind of were stored in there instead of letters. Hey, it works, you know. And then the other thing that you could do is a magnetic knife strip. You can hang that on the wall, maybe behind the stove, and have your knives there at hand, ready to go. Or you can use that stove space for spices and stuff. You can get a shelf and put it behind the stove for your spices, or you can, I've seen under the cupboard spice racks that kind of pull down and attach to under your cupboard space there. You can get that. If you don't have a lot of lighting, what you could do, and this is not really organization, but it's lighting just in general. You could get some flippets, or the kind that have like the Velcro on the back, and attach them to your under the cupboard there, and you've got under the cupboard lighting. You don't have to really install anything, just Velcro. And then, you know, once it dies, you can change out the batteries and things like that. And it's really not that hard to do. And they're very bright, too. So if you're visually impaired and you need some lighting under that cupboard, pick up some flippets. You can get them, I've seen them at Bed Bath. I've seen them at Walmart. Just another thought if you need some lighting. Or if you need some lighting in your cupboards to help with seeing and organizing. That would be a good thing. Or closets. Fabulous, fabulous ideas. So shelves play a huge part in our kitchen, so we can have as much storage, and we use, you know, all the wall space that we have there. And they also have shelves for beside the fridge. Now, I'd like to do this, but we haven't yet. They're just little rollout shelves that you have that you can put stuff on and just store it beside the fridge. And, you know, it could be like your little pantry or something. These things are really cool. They come either short or tall. Just some ideas there. Another idea I saw was putting a tension rod in your cupboard below the sink and then storing your spray bottles on there. I don't know, that might be a little bit more clutter, but you know, it was a cool idea. Using a wine rack, and you can use this in either the bathroom or the kitchen to store your towels on. Great idea. You know, you just gotta get creative and just kind of DIY. Pinterest, YouTube. I love YouTube. Marie Kahn, one of my favorite authors for tidying up. So if you haven't read her book, it's awesome. Love the book. Amazon, I find a lot of cool stuff on there for organization and, you know, just home goods and stuff like that. And what I'm going to do is, as I'm talking about things, I'm going to put pictures up, but it's going to take a lot to link. So you know, the name should be on there. You can easily type it into Amazon and, you know, check it out that way. So there is a dining room set that I found for like small spaces if you have a studio. One has the stools kind of like as storage ottomans that you can just easily push under your dining room table. The other one has a stool storage area and the table kind of folds out. So both of those things are, you know, kind of cool. If we, you know, had the room, I would totally get the kind that kind of fold up and then you can store those stools. They're like folding chairs inside of the table. But we do kind of have a table already that we do pull out when we have guests over, you know, that we set right here in the middle of our living room. So anyhow, just another thought. So some other things that you can do in the kitchen, you can get over-the-door cutting board holders. You can get over-the-door grocery bag holder. Some other things that you can do is they have this really cool behind-the-door storage thing that you can hook to your door. And it acts like a pantry type shelf, which is I thought was kind of neat. Where you can store like some pantry, I can't talk today, pantry items. And then there's some other things like Lazy Susans are good for storing stuff on, like spices and stuff, so that way you can turn it and get to it a little bit easier. They're good for using some of that storage space in your cupboards and kind of freeing up some space. Lid organizers for your Tupperwares, and stacking dishes are a definite thing. Like, I like stacking, you know, bowls and plates, or stacking the mixing bowls, so that way you don't have like one mixing bowl here and one mixing bowl there. It's just kind of stacked nicely together, instead of helter-skelter. So just some suggestions for more organization tips. And using those sealed type bins that have like the chalkboard labels on the outside, so that way you can, you know, store your spaghetti instead of having to hang onto the boxes. And if you're low vision, you can just write the directions on the back on a note card and rubber band it. Or again, you can use the handy dandy little pen friend and label your containers that way as well for flour and spaghetti and other pastas. You know, down here in the South, we have problems with bugs. So sealed tight storage containers are a real bonus here, and that way it keeps things looking nice and neat and organized. I have one for my coffee. So definitely recommend the sealed tight containers. Definitely. just to name a few other things that you can do for your kitchen. The other things that you can do for kitchen organization is using that over the sink area. I found this really neat drying rack because I know sometimes people don't have a lot of countertop space and they don't have a dishwasher. You are the dishwasher. So what you could do is get an over the sink drying rack and use that for storage and for drying your dishes. Also, what you could do is get some, if you don't want to use the plastic dollar store inserts for your drawers and silverware and stuff, you can get some really nice looking bamboo drawer organizers that I found here on Amazon as well. I don't mind the dollar store drawer organizers, but just other options. And they also have over the door pot pan lid holders too that you can use. So just a few things to name in the kitchen. We're going to move on to the bedroom / living room area where we're going to go through a few things. What I'm trying to say is when you organize, you want to use the vertical space, maybe the wall space. Use the space that you would have not really thought of above the cupboard, maybe your corners. You just got to get creative. You don't want to be a pack rat, but you do want to stay organized and, do it in a creative fashion. So, all right, so now we're going to move on to the bedroom and living room area. One thing that I would recommend is using the, you can use a coffee table, if you have room for a coffee table, which we don't, but you can get a coffee table that kind of has like storage underneath it. So that way you can keep the clutter off the top. They have some that kind of lift up that you can use as a table or desk or whatever. And then you got the storage underneath. That would be one that I would like personally, but we don't have room for one here. So what we've done is we've actually mounted our TV, and then I have my knickknacks underneath, and then also there's a chest that I have blankets and stuff in that have the knickknacks stored on top. So what they recommend, or what people have done, is use the storage at the foot of the bed, for blankets and pillows and stuff and baskets and, whatever in a storage ottoman. That's what I've used that ottoman before for. However, now it made a good TV stand, so that's kind of where we've left it. But yeah, you could use a storage ottoman at the foot of your bed for blankets and stuff, and then get a basket for your throw pillows, so that way you don't have to throw them on the floor and get them all nasty. That's what I would do, but we don't have a basket for the throw pillows, so they do end up on the floor a lot. For the bed, you can store things under the bed. You can get bed risers and do that. Or if you want to spend a lot of money, you can get the beds with the storage already kind of built in. We actually have board games under the bed since we don't really have a lot of storage for that type of stuff, and our closet's full of Christmas decorations and other things. We didn't have a lot of room for board games, so we just shoved them under the bed as organized as we can, and the cat loves to lay under there too. Things like that. So just to get creative, you could probably, if you get the bed risers, you could probably put your suitcases and luggage under there. You can, I've seen a YouTube recently where you can use a painting and put your shoes kind of in that canvas painting and then slide it under the bed. Thought that was very creative. However, that's kind of like, I don't want to ruin a good piece of art by doing that. I love art way too much to do it that way. But I'm sure you could get creative and find another solution for storing your shoes under the bed that doesn't involve artwork. You can do you can get You can get slim nightstands that have kind of storage built in. I've seen ones that have plugs and USB ports kind of built in. They weren't that expensive, and they have drawers and magazine holders and things like that. The ones that I'm going to show you here actually have a cup holder. So that way you can have your drink of water or whatever next to the bed. You can get some that kind of hook under the mattress there that you store your glasses or remote controls and things like that for the TV or medications or whatever. You can get something like that and keep your nightstand clear and free.
This is a nightstand holder that you can put on top of your nightstand and hold your keys and wallet. Good for men who lose things.
You can get some cord holders so that way you don't lose your cords. You can use, hooks, or you can get these fancy ones here that really aren't too expensive. You just got to get creative, get creative in how you organize and store things. Folding sheets. So you can fold them and put them in your pillowcases. However, I choose to kind of fold the flats and then fold the fitted and then put the pillowcases on top of the fitted and kind of fold them all together so they're in the nice little stack. And then I do have separate pillowcases, and I kind of fold them together, not in a not together, but in a fold them and then stack them so that they're nice and neat. My twin sheets that I have for my air mattress, I do put them in the pillowcase. I have a couple sets of those that I do put in the pillowcase, so that way, if I ever do need the air mattress, which I've used a few times, we can just pull them out and put them on. All right, some other things that you can do in the bedroom area. You can, put shelves up. You can get creative and have DVD shelves. I've seen even people make an entire wall full of cube shelves. I saw this, I think it was a video or something. It looked really neat. They put it in a different design. I've seen flowers and stuff where they can store books and stuff. Getting a storage headboard so that way you can have, bookshelf or knickknacks or whatever. I like baskets personally. I've got these really cheap looking, but really nice looking cube nightstands, and I have a basket under mine, so that way I can store some things so it doesn't get all helter-skelter, like my talking books and things like that. So that's kind of how I've got mine organized. And then, we've also kind of got a desk in our bedroom. For small spaces, they actually do have folding desks, which have a lot of organized storage. But since we have a desktop computer, I know we got old school there, we needed an actual regular desk, not a folding desk, and this one I've had for a while. But you can get folding desks, and how you can organize your drawers is by using drawer storage bins that you can get from Dollar Tree, or you can use, magazine holders. You can use the bamboo drawer organizers. You can even use shoe boxes. You can get different size storage bins and kind of play Tetris. You just got to get creative. Right now, in my lap part of the drawer, I have it kind of organized. Haven't been in there in a while, so I'm kind of scared too. But we've got pens and stuff in one bin and jump drives in another bin, and staples and paper clips in another bin. Another way that you can get organized with your desk is using a wine rack and then having plastic glasses kind of laying sideways so the opening is in front, and you can stick your pens in there and your pencils and things like that, or art supplies, markers, paint brushes and stuff. You just got to get really creative. You can use paper towel holders for your ribbons. I've seen YouTube videos, I believe, where you can use old coffee canisters. If you're a knitter or crocheter, you can use coffee cans and, you know, put them on the wall, kind of screw them into the wall, and make a really cool design with yarn and stuff. And then you can, if you're visually impaired or blind, you can mark and label those canisters and have, you know, colors in there with the, you know, correct labels on there. If you're also visually impaired and blind, you need to organize your yarns and stuff. You can use baggies and then label the bags too, like sandwich bags or freezer bags or whatever, gallon bags. For sewing, we're kind of moving on to the craft stuff now. For sewing, you can use a tackle box to kind of organize your stuff. They're cheap and they have a lot of hidden areas and storage and stuff, instead of just using a straight up sewing box. Just to get a few ideas.
So other things you could do is you could use a caboodle box. I know a lot of the kids from the 80s have these. They have a lot of storage. I have one. Or you can order them off on Amazon. There's a couple varieties right here. There's a blue and a pink one. The blue one has a lot of storage. I did find this next thing is a really neat sewing box. It has a lot of storage as well. And it looks like you can put your threads in there, color coordinated. So just some other ideas that you can use.
Like I said, you just got to get creative. Pinterest and YouTube are two great resources for organizing. For storing that wrapping paper, what you could do is use an upside down stool. So you just get one of those bar stools, not the kind with the back, but just a flat stool. And then you got to make sure it has like foot holders, so that way when you tip it upside down, that the wrapping paper doesn't fall out the sides there. So you can do that, and then you can, I saw this lady tied a basket onto hers where she stored her tape and scissors, and that was a YouTube thing, and she painted her stool. But you know, you can get some that look really nice and you don't have to worry about DIYing stuff. But she basically put a basket on hers with her scissors and tape and markers and whatever else she might need for wrapping presents, and then stored her gift bags in like a grocery bag, also put on the stool as well. So that way everything's just in one little nice area for gift wrapping. So you just, like I said, you just got to get creative. My mom would buy a lot of cards and stuff, and she would store hers in a drawer. And what you could do for that, if you find a card that you like and, you know, you may use it down the road, you can use the accordion envelopes. You can use those for cards too. And that way you can alphabetize them: birthday, anniversary, thank you, and so forth. And that way, if you do find something that you like and you want to get it and use it later on, you can. So, just some suggestions for crafts and desks and organizing, things like that. So, you can also use the plastic drawers too for storing your craft supplies in, if you have the room. I would like to get some shelves to store my craft supplies, but right now they're kind of just sitting on top of the bookshelf. You know, they're kind of sporadically put in the closet or on top of the bookshelf, but I would like to get some shelves so I can be a little bit more organized with my drawing and beading and stuff like that. So that's some of the things that I would like to start doing. I just haven't gotten there yet. So now that we're done with the living room, bedroom, desk craft area, we're going to move on to the closet and do some organizing there. All right, now we're going to start talking about organizing the closet. Where to start? Well, first you want to start by getting rid of clothes that you don't wear, or that you don't like anymore. I've already done that. My closet actually doesn't look bad. I mean, I could organize a little bit better, but you know, it is what it is right now. We kind of got a linen closet / closet for clothes. So some things that you can do for your closet is you can get those hangers where you can hang multiple garments on and then pull one down so it drops down. So that way you take up a lot less storage space or closet space, and you can organize your garments by color that way. You can also get hangers that you can hang like multiple pairs of pants on, or skirts, or like they're like the S type shape hangers. Those are good for pants and stuff. I personally use regular hangers, but I would love to start using those. Over the door hangers for jackets and stuff, I use a lot of those, and towels for the bathroom. I've used a hamper for the clothes and a clothes basket, so that way we can do laundry and not have to have dirty clothes laying on the floor. Right now for a dresser, we use the plastic storage drawers. I have like 2 for me, and my socks are in a basket sitting on top of those. And then Justin has the rest.
You can also use your shirts like the Marie Con method and fold them that way. And then put them in your drawer so they're kind of stacked but vertically, instead of on top of one another. So that way you can see what the shirts are. And also, you can, if you have trouble standing them up, you can use book ends to help stand them up as well. And they make great drawer organizers.
You can roll your towels so they fit in your linen closet a little bit nicer. However, mine are kind of folded, and each of them are piled up in different areas. Like I've got my hand towels, my washcloths, and my bath towels. It just works out better for us that way. You can get an over-the-door shoe organizer. I would like to get one of those, but have not yet. That'll probably be a later on type thing. That way I can get my shoes kind of off the floor and hanging up somewhere. For your hats, you can use clothespins, the kind that have the little grippies, the claw part, and then you can use Velcro. Put a piece of Velcro on the back of those, and put Velcro on the wall, and have like a little hat collage going on in your bedroom, or closet, or wherever you have your hats. For guys, you can use a hat store thing. I'm sure they make those, or you can use over the door coat racks for your hats as well. Let's see, what else for the closet? Use the upper shelves vertical storage, like stack, stack, stack. I have my Christmas decorations all stacked up on the shelf. In fact, I want to organize those with ornament storage containers, because right now they are definitely not organized. I tried to organize them by color, but they never stay that way. So I definitely want to get that more organized. Have a box for your shred materials, and maybe shred those once a week. However, ours has kind of gotten out of control. So I need to work on that as well. Have just a place for everything, a basket, for your shred, or a box, or a basket for your, mail that you need to kind of look through, and maybe look through it once a week. Just some ideas, for storage. Ooh, another one, that my husband actually thought of is, get one of those hangers that have like the rotating top part, and then hang your shower hooks, like the round ones, the plastic ones you get from like the Dollar Tree. Hang those, and then you got yourself a hanging tie holder or scarf holder, or if you like, leggings, or whatever. You've got yourself a hanging closet organizer, and there's like 12 hooks that you can put on a hanger at once, and you're good to go. I've seen other ones where they hot glued kind of like the circles together, but this is just so much easier than messing with hot glue. If you want to keep your shoes in the shoebox, you can store them that way and then mark and label the shoe boxes as to which shoes they are and maybe colors. Me personally, it's, you know, I don't have enough room to store all the shoe boxes, so that's just not how it works for me. And that's pretty much it with the closet. You just got to get creative. You can put your dresser in the closet to kind of keep some wall space available. If you have a big enough closet, you can get some flippets for your closet, so that way you have a little bit more lighting. You can organize by color, by garment. You can use a paper plate and, you know, like how the stores have the small, medium, large, and they're little round things. You can do that with organizing your garments, skirts, blouses, you know, for people who are visually impaired or low vision. You can get clothing tags in Braille or, you know, large print with clothing tags that you can just sew right into your clothes for color identification. Also, if you just have trouble with either, you know, one or two colors, what you could do is use brass safety pins and, you know, put one at like either the cuff of your pants or the, you know, somewhere where it's not going to rub on you. And that way you have one or the other color. So say you have trouble with blue and like a navy blue or a black. You put one pin in one of the colors. So say you have two black pairs of pants and one navy blue. I would do the navy blue. And that way you had one pin, and then you can just leave the brass safety pin in there and wash it. Brass doesn't rust. Regular ones do. Other things you can do is to keep your socks together, you can use a sock tucker and organize them that way. You can use brass safety pins and pin your socks together in the toes. You can use a linen bag, like a little lingerie bag, and put your socks in there so the dryer monster doesn't eat them. For washing your shoes or drying your shoes, you know how they clang around the dryer there? Just put the shoelaces on the outside of the dryer and, you know, let the shoes dry that way. And that way you don't have the bang and, you know, things like that. You can get a laundry bag and, you know, take one with you. I find them at the dollar store. Get a laundry bag and take it with you when you travel. You can get storage cubes and get the vacuum ones. So that way, hey Chicos, hey baby, our puppy. You can get storage bags and, you know, cubes, and that way you can kind of like capitalize on the vacuum seal and kind of shrink things down and store them that way in like suitcases and stuff, like your winter clothes or your summer clothes when it's winter, and vice versa. You just really have to get creative when you store things. I've seen above the door shelves, so if you want to use that space above your door, I've seen that before. Baskets are huge. Like I love baskets. Just to name a few things. But right now I use the back of the door for storage, like my wedding dresses there and some other dresses that are just too long to hang up in the closet. Like I said, you really have got to get creative here and with your organization and storage. Let's move on to the bathroom. All right, now we're moving on to the bathroom and other miscellaneous organization tips if I have anything else that I can think of. So bathroom, again, you can use the under the cupboard tension bar if you have the room to do that. Use boxes and baskets to help you stay organized. And I have a box for my cleaning supplies and a box for my laundry stuff. And I kind of have it organized by my side and Justin's side for organizing. So you can also use a basket on the back of the toilet. We have one that we have like extra toilet paper, our steamer, and things like that. You can use a shower caddy. We didn't have room for the shower caddy in our shower because our shower already had shelves in it. So we took the shower caddy, the kind that hooks from ceiling to floor, and used that as a storage shelf for like my deodorants and body sprays and, you know, vitamins and things like that to just give us some more storage. And it works perfectly. You can use your medicine cabinet for storing your medications. Another thing I've seen is I found these toothbrush holders that will cover your toothbrush, and then you can store your hairbrushes and toothpaste and stuff in the top of them. So that way, if you don't have the cupboard space or the counter space, you can do that. And that actually will keep your toothbrush sanitary as well. You can use canisters for your, you know, your cotton balls and your Q-tips and things like that. Definitely would recommend that to kind of keep them more sanitary. We don't have that right now, but eventually I hope to get something like that. I right now have a desk organizer to keep my rubber bands and hairbrush kind of organized and things like that, and creams. And I have my lotions kind of organized in a drawer. I have a lot of lotions. Don't use a lot of lotion, but I probably should start using a lot of lotion. Like I said, you really just got to get creative. I've seen over the door hangers for your curling irons and stuff, and things like that. Let's see, what else have I done? Oh, wine racks for your towels. So if you don't have a linen closet, you can use a wine rack mounted to your wall, and you put your towels in there. Things like that. You know, beside the toilet storage, there's those little corners beside the toilet. You can get, they have a storage bins for things like that. So that way you have a little bit more storage, or you can get storage that go kind of over the tank. Depending on, you know, if you have a towel bar there, which we do, so the overtank ones won't work. But we do have quite a bit of storage in our bathroom, so I'm not overly concerned about that. You know, again, you can use the back of your door and get baskets that have hooks on them for the back of your door for storing stuff. Like I said, you really have got to get creative and use anything that you could possibly think of for storage. I guess that's it for the bathroom storage. As far as miscellaneous goes, I can't really think of anything right off the top of my head. But it's really huge for people who are visually impaired or low vision to just really mark and label, not over label, but mark and label things so that you know what it is. If there's things that are different or the same shape and you can't really tell, mark one or mark them both in braille or large print, or use puff paint, or use a Sharpie, or use a note card. Use those foam letters. You can make it funky, make it not so funky. You know, do whatever it takes so you can identify your stuff. And I also recommend a magnetic pincushion for picking up, you know, for guys picking up their bolts and screws and nails and stuff, or for ladies picking up their needles and, you know, other things that are metal that they accidentally drop. I've used it many times myself. I love a magnetic pincushion. With that being said, I think that is all I'm going to do for organization, but feel free to leave me some great organization tips down below, and of different kind of things that you do as a person who is low vision or blind for organizing, or just a sighted person who loves to organize. So with that being said, if you guys have any tips and tricks for organization, please list them down below, and please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button, and follow me on my TikTok, Facebook, and or Twitter. And I will try and create more videos as soon as I can. But I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy these organization tips. Bye!